Hello, Alabama. Even Nick Saban would find this story intriguing, or he wouldn't expect it. Could Bama recruit Nussmeier's brother, a great rival QB from LSU? That would be intriguing, to say the least. Let's get to the news. Colton Nussmeier, younger, brother of the already established Garrett Nusmeer from LSU, emerges as a rising star who promises to spark heated debates among the giants of college football. And when we talk about Alabama, we're not just talking about another interested program. We're talking about an institution whose tradition and excellence have the power to attract even those with ties to its biggest rivals. Colton was practically born into the game of American football. His father, Doug Nusmeer, is a respected name in the sport, known for his ability to mold championship quarterbacks. With impressive state records at Idaho and a solid coaching career, Doug left a legacy that now looks set to be carried on by his sons. Garrett at LSU is already making his own history by putting up impressive numbers and seeking a place among the school's greats. But now, with Colton emerging as an elite prospect, the question on everyone's minds is, where will he go? And more importantly, can Alabama get him? The answer for many is clear. Alabama has always been synonymous with excellence in college football, especially under the leadership of Kalen DeBoer, who has demonstrated an impressive strategic vision for developing talent. The Crimson Tide is not just a team, it is a championship-making machine. And Colton, with his strong arm, ability to read defenses and mobility in the pocket, seems like exactly the type of player who would thrive in Tuscaloosa. He grew up there, observing firsthand how Alabama operates, how players are prepared, and how national titles are won. That familiarity could weigh heavily when it comes time to make a decision. But there are nuances to the situation. LSU, of course, isn't going to give up on a player like Colton easily. Garrett is already established in Baton Rouge, and the family connection is something that can't be ignored. For many young athletes, the idea of following in the footsteps of a successful older brother can be irresistible. Plus, LSU is building a solid future for its quarterbacks, with Michael Van Buren set to take over after Garrett. That would give Colton time to develop without the immediate pressure of being the guy from the start. For many, that gradual transition might seem ideal. On the other hand, Alabama offers something few programs can match: a culture of consistent winning. It's not just about playing football, it's about competing for a national title year after year. It's about having access to top-notch facilities, renowned coaches, and a fan base that lives up to the Crimson Tide. When Colton talks about how impressed he was with Alabama's interest, you can tell he understands the weight of the opportunity. "It was incredible," he said of the Tide's offer. "A great program that takes football very seriously and wants to win." Offensive coordinator Nick Saban also plays a crucial role in the equation. His approach to recruiting Colton was methodical and respectful, analyzing the young quarterback's performance before extending a formal offer. That kind of attention to detail is something that players and their families deeply value. And for someone like Colton, who has already demonstrated maturity in weighing his options, it can make all the difference. Still, we can't ignore the emotional weight of the decision. Colton isn't just choosing a college, he's deciding where to build his identity as a player and as a person. His father, Doug, has been an example of neutrality in this process, allowing his sons to follow their own paths. That's rare in the world of college sports, where outside pressures often dictate the choices of young athletes. But Doug knows that ultimately, Colton's success will depend on where he feels most comfortable and motivated to grow. And here's the kicker: Alabama has all the makings of that place. With a structure that prioritizes individual development, an unmatched track record of success, and a pre-existing connection to the Nusmeer family, the Crimson Tide seems like a natural fit for Colton. Sure, LSU is still in the running, but Bama is Bama. What do you think about this curious question? At the end of the video, I want to hear your thoughts. What about Bama's recruiting? Let's take a look. Bama has its sights set on yet another promising talent, Xavier Griffin, a 5-star linebacker in the class of 2026 who currently plays for Gainesville High School in Georgia. And if you think that sounds like just another name on a long list of prospects, think again. Griffin isn't just any athlete. He's an Alabama native who grew up in Huntsville, and his return to his roots could mean a lot for the future of Kalen DeBoer's team. Alabama outside linebackers coach Christian Robinson has been relentless in his pursuit of Griffin. On Thursday, he paid the young linebacker another visit, reinforcing the Crimson Tide's interest in bringing the talent back to his home state. It's a strategic and calculated move typical of Alabama. After all, when you have a player with Griffin's skills and pedigree, every step in the recruiting process counts. And in this case, there's something special at stake. Griffin isn't just an elite recruit. He's a son of Alabama, someone who grew up breathing in the culture and passion of the Crimson Tide. That emotional connection can be the difference in a process as competitive as college recruiting. But here's the kicker. Griffin isn't just being courted by Alabama. Georgia, another college football giant, is also deeply involved in his pursuit. And the Bulldogs aren't messing around. Reports indicate that Georgia's defensive coordinator also met with Griffin this week, indicating that the interest is mutual and intense. For Griffin, this attention from two of the nation's top programs should be both exciting and overwhelming. But Alabama has some powerful cards up its sleeve. The Crimson Tide is specifically targeting Griffin for the Wolf position, a crucial role in Christian Robinson's defensive scheme. This position requires versatility and discipline. The player must be able to pressure the quarterback by running the edge, cover the sidelines quickly, drop back to help cover the pass, and still be consistent on the run. It's not an easy role, but Griffin seems to be molded for it. He's athletic, quick, and instinctive, qualities that make him a perfect fit for the aggressive, dynamic style that Alabama loves to play on defense. Griffin has already demonstrated his skills on the field at Georgia, where his physical and mental presence impresses coaches and analysts. He has the ability to change the course of a game with a single play, whether it's intercepting a pass or taking down the opposing quarterback in a critical moment. Players like him are rare, and Alabama knows it. That's why the program is investing time and energy to ensure that Griffin understands the value he would have in Tuscaloosa. And then there's the coming home factor. Griffin grew up in Huntsville, a city steeped in Crimson Tide tradition. He likely watched countless Alabama games growing up, dreaming of one day donning the red and white uniform. That sense of belonging could be a big draw for the young linebacker, especially when compared to the opportunity to play for a school like Georgia, which, despite being a powerhouse, doesn't carry the same emotional weight for him. Of course, Griffin's path to signing with Alabama won't be easy. Georgia has one obvious advantage. He's playing in the Bulldogs' backyard, surrounded by friends, family, and fans who already see him as part of the team's future. Plus, the Bulldogs have a solid reputation for developing linebackers, something that could weigh on Griffin's decision. But Alabama has something few programs can match: a winning culture and a recruiting machine that rarely falters. Christian Robinson has played a key role in that race. His personal approach and tactical savvy are strengths that could appeal to Griffin. The Crimson Tide coach isn't just selling a spot on the team. He's providing a clear vision of how Griffin can thrive within Alabama's defensive system, standing out as a game-changing player. And when you combine that with the chance to represent his home state, Alabama has a very compelling case. As the recruiting process continues, the battle between Alabama and Georgia promises to be one of the tightest in the 2026 class. I'm excited to see how this plays out, and it would be great if this guy came to Bama. Let us know what you think.